I'm Captain Mal.
I'm Weapon 2, that's the second of the weapons.
And today we're bringing you our official review for Ford V Fararri. Is it Ford V Fararri or versus Ferrari?
V.
Okay, hey, just want to make sure. We're professionals.
Yeah.
We want to get it right. Alright, so Ford V Fararri is based on the true story of when Ford built their very own supercar to take on Ferrari at the 24-hour Le Mans, right, the race.
Yes.
So we'll keep the first part of this review spoiler-free. There are a little bit of spoilers that I do want to touch on toward the end of this review. So this movie takes place in 1966, someone's supposed to?
About right.
Somewhere around there. And it stars a very great cast in Matt Damon, Christian Bale, John Bernthal, Josh Lucas. Not all of them had very much to do. But before I dive into that, Weapon 2, give us a little overview of the movie and what did you think? Was it enjoyable?
Well, I'll tell you what. If it's enjoyable to go see a movie that has effective character development, an intriguing plot line, and top-notch acting, well then, it was a good movie. Because that's exactly what you get with this movie. I haven't talked to you about this, but that's how I feel. I feel, here's the deal. I'm not into racing. I mean, in racing itself, I'm like, I don't know, I'm not that into racing. I was on the ride for this thing, man. I was into this movie. I was totally into it. I'll tell you right now, Christian Bale was the best actor in this movie. The way he portrayed Ken Miles, it was amazing. Mm-hmm. You believed he was this character, man. And I don't know anything about Ken Miles, but I'll tell you what, he made that character super interesting to me.
I concur. So, as per the usual, Weapon 2 and I did not watch this movie together. Most of our reviews we don't actually see together because of scheduling and adulting and all that, which I've actually grown to like because we don't know what we think about the movies until we start shooting these reviews, right? So, I did enjoy this movie for the most part. I thought it was good. I do have a few issues with it. None of which have to do with the characters, though. As you said, Christian Bale steals every single scene that he is in. He is the highlight of this movie. He's the bright spot of this movie. Talking about Christian Bale as an actor, he 100% makes you believe he is whoever he is portraying. You're not like, oh, like we were talking about, it's not Christian Bale playing this character. No, that's that character. He's that good, right? So I'm not super into racing either. I know of Le Mans. I know what it is. I do, like, if you guys know me personally, you know that I like Mustangs. The Shelby GT500 is my dream car. The Ford GT, the remake in 2003, is on my dream car list if I ever won the lottery. So I know this story of how the original GT40 was made and what it was built for and all that. I didn't know all the details, right? I didn't know the details about the driver and all that. I knew Carroll Shelby was involved. Matt Damon plays Carroll Shelby. He does a fine job. Carroll Shelby doesn't have as much to do as Christian Bale. My kind of nods against this are like John Bernthal's in it, and John Bernthal's great in everything. Doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie. He's kind of, that could have been played by anybody. He doesn't steal the show or whatever. Mm-hmm. Josh Lucas is great playing the corporate dick.
Does a great job.
He's like in the second,
the guy everybody wants to hate.
The second you see him on camera, you're like, oh, antagonist, great. The dude who played Henry Ford II was also very good. Just anytime he's in the room.
The deuce.
Anytime he's in the room, there's like a sense of tension and fear, and like you don't know what he's gonna do because he's kind of an asshole. So the movie is, it is Matt Damon and Christian Bale building this supercar to go to Le Mans to take down Ferrari, who has won this race like the last fucking 4 years in a row, and they always win this race, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a story of them building this car in 90 days, which is impossible, and trying to race it and win. And they have a bunch of stuff that they have to overcome in order to do that. Don't want to say much more without getting into spoilers. Right. But yes. The racing sequences were very exciting. This movie is directed by James Mangold. He directed a little flick named Logan that you probably have seen. So the action's really, really good. My issues are when the action wasn't happening. So this movie's like 2.5 hours long. It's at least a half hour too long. There was a lot of backstory that we got in the beginning of the movie that we didn't need, which it was kind of integral into understanding where the characters are coming from, specifically Christian Bale and Matt Damon. It just made the movie drag. So by the time like the movie's actually going and we're seeing the stakes and the cars being built and the racing and all that, you've already been there way too long. So I was a little kind of burnt by the end of it. But the racing sequences to me are so good, they hype you back up and get you into it. So overall, I did like the movie. I just thought it was a little too long. What do you think?
I think much like most every time we do a review here, I have a little more patience for story building, and I hear what you're saying, and sometimes I agree with you more than I do on this one. For me, the backstory and the show, like when we're not spoilers yet or anything. So I'm just going to say the backstory helped me get into the movie more and care about the characters more.
Right, and that's fair.
Yeah.
So it's like, I still very much enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. I thought the acting was great. I thought the writing was really good. The action was good. Like I said, I thought it drug on a little too long, but that's a matter of preference. So would you recommend that our tens of fans go watch this in theaters?
Oh yeah,
would
for
you?
sure.
I don't really think you need to go watch it in theaters. I definitely say you should watch this movie, but I feel like it would suit you just fine renting it later on instead of going to the theater to watch it. But
I see what you're saying. It's not like a big spectacle or some type of a thing. But
if you got a decent TV and a sound system, the racing sequences will still be pretty.
So, I mean, for me, if you want to go see a movie, for me, there's not like that many great movies in the theater right now.
Right.
So if you want to go see a movie and you want to see a good movie, I think this is a good movie to go see.
Yeah, if you want something to go watch in theaters, definitely. It's good that this movie didn't come out in July, right? When it had a lot of competition. Yeah. So I feel like that'll do it for our spoiler-free section. So
because it's doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, no, it should. I like the movie. Spoiler alerts. Let's get into it. For me personally, the whole first race that happened and the attempted purchase of Ferrari by Ford and then Fiat coming in and sneaking it out from under them, that didn't need to be a half hour long. You could have condensed that way shorter and just given that to me via exposition.
Which first race are you talking about? The one that Shelby was in?
Yeah. No, that one was fine. The one where Christian Bale won, where he threw the wrench and he broke the mirror and all the window and all that. Like that, it served to show their relationship. That was fine. We get that later. Like that fight scene between the two of them in the front of their lawn. Like that shows more about their friendship than like anything else ever did to me.
But I thought that helped paint the picture of Miles not being able to hold his tongue, control his temper,
and Shelby constantly fighting for him.
Absolutely not. He was not the guy that you. And it made it easier to believe why nobody wanted him as a driver.
You did see it.
Because you'd be like, these guys are really a dick. Where's this coming from? But you start seeing, I see where they're coming from.
So the funny thing about this movie is it's called Ford V Fararri. Yeah. It should really be called Shelby and Miles v Ford v Ferrari. Because at no point in this movie are you rooting for Ford. You feel like you're gonna. And it's like, no, because Henry Ford II is presented as a dick, right? And Ford is just being the corporation that just wants to win and don't really care how they're going to get there, which is probably true to life. That's probably exactly
it's all about selling cars. Right. They don't care about racing. They care about selling cars.
Right. They're just trying to up their name.
Yeah, starts out with nobody's buying our dad cars right now.
Yeah.
And all these other cars who have cool cars that kids are buying, that's who's selling cars. What do? He walks straight in and tells everybody to go home in the entire plant.
And so, and then his first train of thought is, hey, let's make something cool. It's like, no, let's go buy the guy who's fucking doing it, which is just corporate rich dickhead 101. Right. But so then, like, they employ Shelby, Matt Damon, to build this car, and he wants Miles, Christian Bale, to race it because he's legitimately the best racer in the world. But like we said, because of his attitude and all that, Ford doesn't want him to be the one who drives it. So there's this constant battle between fucking Shelby and Ford trying to keep Miles in the driver's seat.
Well, and in addition to that, he's integral in designing this car because he has, there's people who have passions for things that are good for things that are interested in things, and there's people who live and breathe and are somehow geniuses in this, and he was one of these, the guy probably wasn't that bright. He probably only had a high school education. But he
was an idiot savant for racing.
He knew cars. How cars work. He knew everything about it. He knew how they feel, how they were supposed to feel, how they were going to perform better. It was just his thing.
And that's very evident in the scene where Ford doesn't allow him to go to the first race, and so he's listening to it on the radio, working on cars. And literally, as they're talking about stuff going wrong, he's naming what's happening.
Right.
And you're like, he's that freaking good at it. So Shelby fights for him. He puts his company on the line, unbeknownst to Miles. Was that his name? Are we getting his name right? I don't think
his name is Ken Miles.
Ken Miles. Okay, so unbeknownst to Miles, puts his freaking company, Shelby Automotive, on the line to get him in the driver's seat. Now, the two big things are, They did him real dirty at the end of that race. So
Yeah.
he's gonna win Le Mans. He's clearly the best driver there by a mile. They defeat Ferrari way early, right?
Yeah, he's almost 5 minutes in front of the next Ford that's behind him.
So not only, and this is true, not only did Ford actually win, but the first 3 places to finish were all Ford GTs. Like that was like the best car by a mile, right? Now, Ken Miles was ahead of them by a shit ton, and so Josh Lucas, who like really hated Christian Bale, really wanted him to not be the driver and all that, and is like the point of like contention the entire movie, says, "Hey, Mr. Ford, we're gonna win. You know, it'd be really cool if Miles slows down and lets all 3 Ford GTs pass at the same time," which would infuriate anybody. You know what I mean? Because it's like, no, he's earned the right to win. So Shelby's backing him here, and he's like, "Hey, no, do whatever you want to do," and you think he's just gonna go win, and he doesn't. He holds back. He lets the other 2
now
catch him.
first he resets the course record.
Yeah, he sets the perfect lap.
The lap that he had already beat the course record, he beats it again.
Just to show, just so everyone knows.
Then
he does this, and as they all pass at the same time, we find out that the other Ford GT started a little bit further back than he did, so he traveled a further distance, so per technicality, he's the winner.
So even though his car crossed the finish line first, because the other car was further back, they win. And he gets out of his car, he's all excited and happy, and he's waiting for everybody to come, and they're like running past him to the other guy.
So, which is a shame because obviously he should have won. He would have won if he would have just tried to win. And so, like, Henry Ford himself, I don't think he particularly was trying to screw Miles. He just didn't give a fuck who won the race. He just wanted his car to win.
Right, and because he's still just about selling cars.
Right. So, doesn't matter if it was Miles or not. It was Josh Lucas, though, who I think 100% knew this was going to be the outcome. And so he intentionally talked Ford into doing this to fuck Christian Bale out of winning, which is so fun. But I did love how, as everyone's flocking to the dude who won and celebrating, Miles looks up at Enzo Ferrari
and he gives him a tip of the hat.
Because he's like, you know what, I know, we know you fucking won. I think anybody who actually pays attention to this actually knows who won. Now, so that was the one kind of dirty thing, but 2, I didn't think he died. Like, I didn't expect him to die like that. I didn't know how he died. Like I said, I've never really heard of the driver. It was really fucking out of nowhere.
It was too foreboding for me. Number 1, Matt Damon getting set on fire. Earlier,
a little foreshadowing.
I was like, the little foreshadowing. The big thing with his son, and he was so worried about his dad being in that fire and getting out, and what happens was even more. And I said, I'm feeling something's gonna happen.
See, I didn't pick up on those. I didn't expect it at all.
I didn't know
how,
when it was going to happen. I thought maybe there'd be like, he won another race, and then oh my goodness, he died in this fire. So I didn't know that it was going to happen right there. I felt like something was going to happen with fire because there was too much fire-related stuff throughout.
And they did show kind of the tease when he was testing it, when he did crash and the kid watched it and all that. So yeah, fucking retrospect, there was a lot of foreshadowing too. But anyway, I was surprised. I was like, holy shit, didn't see that coming. It was a really sad ending to the movie.
It was tough.
The way they do it too is actually well done. You feel it in the old heartstrings.
You feel pretty bad. One just ball, man. It was sad.
But so that's the thing. So this movie is very exciting. The action sequences and the racing are really, really good. The emotional moments, they really hit you. The acting is fantastic. The movie is good. Like I said, I just think it's a little bit too long, but that's just a personal thing. I definitely think you guys should watch this, and I very much am happy that I went to go watch it.
No, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie, especially right now when the pickings are a little slim. So, any final thoughts?
I think that's it. It's a good movie. Go see it. Go see it. If you don't go see it in the theater, you better see it. If you know it's good for you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest movies and reviews. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe.
Peace.